Gina.
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 Gina. Just be the cold open. It's just us.
Gina.
Gina.
Gina. My Gina.
Gina.
I wouldn't say my Gina too fast.
No, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't.
My Gina.
I also wouldn't abbreviate Virginia.
Wow. Wow.
Tell her she's going to Virginia too fast.
Wow. You picked that fruit up off the ground. That wasn't low-hanging fruit. That was ridiculous. I see we're really letting the abbreviation humor fly this evening.
Oh, God. Middle school social studies has to be good for something, man.
I'll tell you something. Damn right.
Boy, I could go back and tell my 12-year-old self, hey, you're going to make a vagina joke about a pig. Learn your states, boy.
I wasn't paying attention and all I heard was vagina about a pig.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I hope.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
All right, are we doing this?
Yeah, we're good. Hi, welcome to the Tryforce podcast, where we talk about video games, we talk about movies, anime now, apparently.
Yeah, we're fucking multimedia at this point.
That alone is going to get us copyright.
Watch the show.
No.
It's the Tryforce.
Hey, che cosa? Bippity boppity boopity. Hey, we're here to talk about Italian.
Canceled.
That's right. I can do that. I'm cool with that. We're good. So,
I'm cool with it. We can do it.
We're totally fine. Listen, so I don't think that a lot of things are set in Italy. Like, there's plenty of things out there, and especially things coming out of Japan. Like, there are very little things that are set in Italy, but I'm pleased that there are so many of them. JoJo Part 5, for existence.
Yeah.
Right? But this one, I think, is, at least for me, one of the first instances of seeing animated Italian anything.
Yeah.
So, I love it.
It is good. It is really, really nice. It's a nice fresh pasta. It tastes like a nice meatball.
It is a spicy meatball.
It's a spicy meatball.
It's very al dente.
Yeah, very nice.
Before we break out the vino and cut the cheese, I think it's time that we get started. I'm Zach, and this is the Tryforce podcast.
I'm Colton. Hello. Salutations. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
I'm Nicole. Hello. I don't know any of that.
We love it. Well, and
I was just kind of waiting for you to just go, lasagna!
No, it's lasagna. Get it right.
yes, Bon Jovi, everyone.
Yes. Listen, that's how my mom says lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yes, she says it lasagna.
Lasagna. All right.
Yeah.
Look,
Love
everybody.
a good lasagna.
Look, we're comfortable with that. We're not going to accept it, but we're comfortable with it.
Are you gonna tell that to my mom? Are you gonna tell her?
We're gonna report it to the Italian council, the consigliere. So we had planned on actually talking about a completely separate Ghibli movie tonight.
We did.
But circumstances called for us to speak about this one.
Yeah,
And
like New York City losing fucking power
My
because
God.
it's roasting out there.
Yep.
And Rain is just like, I am like not going to turn on my computer. And we're like, that's fucking valid.
Totally fair. So now we've got Nicole here. We are
Hello.
a Tryforce, and we're here to talk about Porco Rosso.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, the spiciest of meatballs. I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
I will go on record and say it is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
You even have a shirt.
I do. Courtesy of you, actually. You're the only person I know that could ever find a fucking Porco Rosso shirt. And I am so happy that you did because it is beautiful. And I love it. I love it so much. I love this movie. I could watch it. I could watch it literally every day and it wouldn't get any less entertaining.
All right. Well, this came to us in 1992. So this movie, well before my existence.
This movie is a year older than me.
So this is was obviously directed and written by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Hayao Miyazaki, of Studio Ghibli's fame. It was apparently a 1989 3-part watercolor manga based on The Age of the Flying Boat. It was originally based on, and Colton, actually, you told me that something that recently came out was inspired by this.
Yes, the reason we chose Porco Rosso instead of the one we were going to is because there's a movie called Luca that just came out, and the theme song is very loosely based on the Porco Rosso theme song, and the setting that Luca takes place in is called Porco Rosso. And it seems that the director of Luca was very fond of the Porco Rosso movie. So I think it's really cool. And also Disney is responsible for a lot of the localizations of Studio Ghibli movies. So there's a lot of crossover there, which I think is really cool.
Also, I noticed something because we were watching a little bit of it, Luca, that Porco Rosso's story is a man that is changed into a pig, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Well, in Luca, this is a boy who can change as well, but his is on command from a human to a sea monster and vice versa. Yeah, so it's also in the way kind of the same.
Yeah, and you know what else I noticed in Luca? Porco Rosso flies that pretty red plane. It looks like a pretty red Vespa.
Right.
So,
it means freedom.
Yeah, red means freedom.
Love it.
There we go.
All right. So, obviously, this is also one of my favorite Ghibli's because it's up there for me, definitely. It's not as special to me as the one that we were going to talk about tonight, but definitely ever since you showed me it the first time, I was like, wow, I really like this one. I never knew this one was around.
This one really flew under the radar, and that's not a pun. Like, I really don't mean that as a pun.
I'll believe you, but all right.
I mean,
Get it flying.
yeah, thank you.
This guy's got jokes, ladies and gentlemen. But I really like this one because it also has like a very historical setting as well.
Which is why I thought you would love this one.
Yeah, so it is set, or at least shortly after, either during or shortly after World War One.
World War One, yes.
Yeah. So just a little context of the time, Italy was not having a good time after World War One. Italy didn't exactly get as boned as Germany did in the Treaty of Versailles, but they got no new land. They had nothing really going for them. All of their soldiers returning home couldn't find jobs. There was massive debt in the country, and that is prime conditions for fascism.
Yeah, that's kindling for the worst of humanity. So Italy not doing super fantastic in this movie.
No. But in the time between, in the interwar period, the plot revolves around an Italian World War I ex-fighter ace pilot now living as a freelance bounty hunter chasing what he calls, or what the world at large calls, quote, air pirates in the Adriatic Sea. However, an unusual curse has transformed him into, as Nicole said, an anthropomorphic pig. Fully fucking bipedal pig.
Yeah, for fucking real. And they don't. The weird part is I'm just gonna spoil this now because it's not really a spoiler. They don't explain how that happened.
Nope. And I like that. I almost liked that more.
Yeah, they just don't tell you where that happened, when it happened, how it happened. They just are like, he's a fucking pig.
He's a pig.
Well,
And you're just like, okay, he's a pig, I guess. No one else is an animal. He is just a pig.
Well, in the movie, they did try a little bit to explain it. They said when he saw his comrades flying up into that sea line of planes, and he was going down. He said, "Oh, I just woke up floating just above the water, and I was a pig." And he said it was because I survived while all the good ones died.
I guess it was I guess it's like a survivor's guilt curse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The way I kind of interpret the curse is no one actually put it on him. Like, he kind of put it on himself. Like, he calls himself a pig because he thinks himself to be selfish because he didn't die for his comrades. And he kind of just goes around serving himself.
Sure.
But, like, then again, so did everyone else at the time, you know? So like he beats himself up over it, and I think that physically manifested into the curse.
Are we just saying that he's just magical and can do that?
I think so.
I think so.
Magical girl?
Have you seen his fucking flying skills? You think that's not magic?
Marco from Magical Girl. Once called Marco Pago,
Sailor Marco.
otherwise known as Marco Rossellini in the American version, he is now known to the world as Porco Rosso, Italian for either red pig, red pork, red swine, or red ham in the broader definitions.
I kind of like red swine.
I love that short laugh.
I love red ham.
Oh, yeah, me
Like
too,
a picture
man.
is just flying red ham.
Just like brick red. Just like fire truck red.
Someone painted it. It's still wet.
It's like very clearly spray paint. Like still got the sprout.
I'm
the
just
splatter.
imagining like a fucking sandwich, and it's just got like
A flying sandwich.
It's just like lettuce, tomato, mayo, and just like the most saturated red ham you have ever seen. Like you go into Photoshop and take a picture, like a square, and just make it red, and then turn the saturation as high as fucking possible.
I do not like red eggs and ham.
Like burn your eyes red.
I think I've seen that at Omega Mart.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So shall we get into the story?
Yes.
Sure.
Obviously, I get the sense that, please cut in anytime you want
Absolutely.
to gush about
I
anything.
think Nicole and I are both going to do that.
In 1929, Porco Rosso, an Italian World War I fighter ace and freelance bounty hunter, fends off an attack from the Mama Aiuto gang on a ferry liner from the airborne pirates.
Yeah, and the main pirate of which is voiced by the brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Brad Garrett.
Brad Garrett, yes.
Brad
okay.
Garrett.
I don't know why I don't
He
remember his
was
fucking
also
name.
the pufferfish in Finding Nemo.
Yes, he was. Yes, he
Shark
definitely
bait,
was.
ooh-ha-ha. Yeah, that
Yep.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Brad Garrett does the voice of that, and it's like the first voice you hear in the whole thing.
He's got a great voice.
He does. He definitely has a great voice, and he's a very fun pirate.
Porco treats himself to dinner at one of the seminal locations of the film, the Hotel Adriano, which is run by his friend
Jaina.
Jaina. All right, let's get it out. Let's get it out now that we spent about 1 minute and 45 seconds just saying Jaina. Jaina. Yeah. You'll see exactly why we're doing that in a second. But yeah, so Porco has this friend, let's put that in insanely large quotes.
He
Enormous.
saw her bloomers when they were kids. That's more than
That means
Is that canon? I completely missed
that's
that.
canon as hell, and that was basically a wedding ring back then.
Oh my
If you
god.
saw a girl's bloomers,
That's it.
That's it. Your
Yeah.
hipster life.
You
I
need
never understood that. It's literally just pants.
You need to accept a dowry from her family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god. So at the hotel, the heads of pirate gangs are contracting Curtis, an arrogant and ambitious American ace, to assist them in their next attacks. Curtis falls in love with Jaina. I like how we all looked at each other and all leaned into our mics at the same time.
That is going to sound terrible in the record.
And he's from Texas.
He is. He's like
very much from Texas.
very much like America, the character. He's
Yeah, he has a pistol on his side. His plane is I think it's like a snake or a cobra.
something like that.
Like its name.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I gotta bring this back for mama.
Yeah, he's just like all very like macho and like very full of himself, arrogant and ambitious, it says.
Yeah, it's
American.
Yeah.
very much a caricature of what an American Hollywood star was in 1992.
Yeah.
Dude, spoiler.
Yeah, because he is a movie
Well,
Yeah,
star.
It's not really a spoiler. That's just his attitude.
For the garden scene. For the garden scene, it's a
okay,
spoiler.
that's fine, but
Yeah,
like...
and also for later in life, he becomes like, I think it's with dinosaurs.
Excuse me? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about personally.
I really don't know what you're
At
talking
the end, when she goes
Oh,
over
yeah,
what
yeah,
happens to
okay.
everyone.
I thought you fucking were talking about... I thought he just threw himself into like Jurassic Park. Like I just...
Curtis falls in love with Gina on the spot, but is frustrated to see his declarations rebuffed and her affection for Porco Rosso. Gotta be tough to be passed up for a pig. Has to, don't like Curtis, has to be a little frustrating.
I guess.
But she did lose like 3 husbands, so like, listen, he seems more durable. So
Facts.
Durable is not the word.
You look real sturdy. You want a date? Is that why you go for it? Is that why you engaged yourself with this redwood of a human being?
The coast is like, he's like a slab of granite. I feel like I'll be safe behind him.
Yeah, just be defended from have her honor defended by Michelangelo's David over here. After successfully executing a pirating mission, Curtis tracks down Porco Rosso, who is flying to Milan to have his plane serviced, and shoots him down as he experiences an engine outage, claiming to have killed him.
Yep.
oh yeah, I remember Curtis killed like 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking straight up murdered them.
Yeah, because they had it was like a big ship that all the seaplane pirates banded together to take over, and they panicked. Curtis came down from the sun and like basically murdered 2 people to get the treasure.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He even says, "Make way for the American."
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's very much a fucking caricature of America.
I hate him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is what like other cultures feel like watching our movies, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is what they picture us to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like a weird reference to make, but it's just reminding me of it. I finally like sat down and read a book that I felt like I should have read a long time ago this summer so far. I read Bram Stoker's Dracula the other day.
Really?
It was really good, but there's a character in there who was like meant to be one of the guys who may have fucked the like main lady or like was trying to court her, and he is legitimately the state of Texas, the human being. Like,
I remember reading that for English class.
Yeah.
It was horror literature.
nice. It definitely reminded me of it, and I think that that's like a thing, like that like American is almost a personality.
It is. Like, I
No,
feel
it's
like,
just Texas.
Right.
I feel like because Texas is just so overwhelmingly American. It's like they're like the Southern Harry Potters. Like when we think of British, like we think of Harry Potter. Like they think of Clint Eastwood.
The Southern Harry Potter. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard. I love that. Wingardium Leviosa, Jaina. Wingardium Levigina. Porco survives Curtis's attack. However, his plane is heavily damaged. Porco continues his trip by train with the remains of his plane, much to the irritation of Gina, who reminds him that there is a warrant for his arrest in Italy.
No, I think it's also really cool the way that he gets away from Curtis and kind of like fakes his death.
Yeah. That's
where-
definitely something to talk about. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was really smart. Like the little tiny subtle things. Like Porco kind of just swims off to this alcove in the bay and just puts his plane wreck under this like big underbrush, and as Curtis flies by, he just pulls the underbrush down. And I thought that was really cool. You know, he just hid away from Curtis, and Curtis was able to bring back a piece of Porco's plane to prove that he shot it down. And that's literally just Porco's way out. He just let Curtis have that.
Yeah.
Which was great. Like, I think that was so cool. You know, a lot of the whole thing about the seaplane pilots is supposed to be like honor, you know, and I think that's why Porco survived, just because he kind of like had some, but like not a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, like he did try to take the guy's place who was going up into the line.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But he couldn't because I guess it wasn't his time.
Yeah.
And the second thing is when Curtis got the piece of the plane, he was just like, that annoying red paint. That is undeniable proof.
Yeah.
But also proving my point that Porco Rosso is durable because he was able to take the whole plane, drag it up to the bay.
That's fair.
So I'm just like, and it was in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I would imagine
The man is thick. Like,
I would imagine the water made it a lot easier, though. You know what I mean?
there's also the fact that a lot of his plane were not in
Yeah, a lot of the plane wasn't
attached
there.
anymore.
Yeah, it was
you
kind
know?
of just the body of the plane at that point.
That's kind of the thing, that if you have someone who can really, like, Curtis isn't going to land, get out, go and find. I mean, he does, but just to get a piece of the plane that he sees floating in the water, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to land. He's not going to try to find Porco. He's not going to put two in his head and, like, get out of there.
Yeah. Like, these aren't bounty hunters the way you think they're bounty hunters. These are kind of like cartoonish fops of bounty hunters. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I got a piece of this man's plane. I've obviously murdered him.
Yeah, for real.
If not, I've murdered his honor.
No, but also Gina tries to go and find him. She really does care for him.
Yeah. True.
As her oldest friend.
Yeah.
And she literally just hopped from a boat, like, while he was moving to go get the phone.
Oh my God.
To tell him.
You're right. That scene, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she was going to go and search for him, and then a little boy is just like, "No, Gina, phone call for you. It's Porco Rosso." And she's just like, "I gotta
the boat
go.
was pulling away,
Jump."
and she just, like, fucking jumped back to the pier, like, off the boat.
Yeah.
She long jumped it. 100%. In heels.
Yes.
Yeah. And a petticoat, dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
True Olympian.
The 30s were a fucking time.
These are insane. Porco arrives discreetly in Milan. Bullshit. Let me just say that 110% garbage. How are you a walking, fucking, I don't even know what that, bring this. Porcine. And you just aren't noticed. Immediately, as soon as he enters a populated area, two guards are just like, I think that's Porco Rosso.
He essentially entered the Italian equivalent of Chicago.
There it is again. Chicago once again. City of Chicago, Illinois, please sponsor our podcast. We will do as many tourism advantages if you want.
Would Milan be like New York?
Milan is a very large city.
You think
in
so?
Italy. Yeah, I would say, somewhere along the lines. I wouldn't know about 8 million people, but definitely in the millions. It's a large city.
Okay.
It's actually one of the cities in Italy where they...
All right, so I'd say, you know what? I'd go for a Los Angeles. Of
Los
Italy.
Angeles?
And, like, imagine just the only biped pig walking into that place. Not only the only biped pig, but he's got a fucking bounty on his head.
tend to notice that kind of thing.
But also, do you not remember his disguise when he went and made that phone call?
Yeah, he had a big trench coat and a hat.
Yeah, but the trench coat had the how do you say the...
I call it the Fonzie flaps, but he's got, like, the collar that's, like, flared
so it was
up.
covering his snout. So you really
it was
couldn't
covering
see
his
it
snout.
until you unbuttoned it to talk on the phone.
Yeah, but I also would imagine that if someone's walking around dressed like that, and someone who is very clearly, like, this is a time where bounties are common, and, like, people walking around like that are usually not wanting to be seen.
No.
You
But,
would
like,
imagine that would
could
be...
have been the fashion, because you saw the other pirates and all the other gentlemen had the fancy, like, coats and everything.
It's true.
So you could have just been like, oh, it's a fashion statement. But also, he doesn't call attention. He's not walking in his little hooves on the ground. It's just like, yo, that guy got hooves.
It's true. He's not going up to guards. He's like, yeah, where can I find the auto shop?
Plus, he's wearing gloves, so you can't see if it's together. You know what I mean?
No, his hands were perfectly fine.
His hands are human, if I remember correctly.
He's got the 5 digits.
I don't think we'll know about his feet. I don't think we ever know about Porco's feet.
I don't think we
He
know.
wears boots.
Show Porco Rosso feet 2021.
Show feet.
Where is the Marco
Show hooves.
Rossellini wiki feet?
Yeah. Can we get his Rule 34 page up, please?
Show hooves. Show hooves.
Porco arrives discreetly in Milan to meet Piccolo, the Namekian mechanic who is going to help him. I'm kidding. The
You
character's name
almost
is
slipped-
Piccolo, yeah.
You almost slipped that one by me. I wasn't paying like full attention. It's like, I had to turn back. I was like, wait a minute.
His name is Piccolo.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Piccolo, his mechanic. He learns that Piccolo's sons have emigrated to find work elsewhere due to the Great Depression. Yeah, definitely also that time in our world's history.
Yeah.
And much of the engineering will have to be carried on by his young granddaughter, Theo.
Oh, the baby.
Oh, God.
Precious.
The character
Yeah.
of this film, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Porco is initially skeptical and sexist of
Very much so.
of Theo's abilities as a mechanic.
It was the 30s, unfortunately.
So it's gender, but also age.
Definitely.
Age, I understand.
She's 16, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she's 17.
Oh, she's 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the same age that Porco went to fly the first
Yes,
plane.
exactly.
But
So
he
the
have
age part I understand.
penis, so it's fine.
Yeah. 30s.
Yep. But accepts Theo's help after seeing her dedication in the repair project.
Yeah, she literally like the crazy part is he just was like, no, no, I'm not having this. And then Piccolo's like, you see anyone else around here? And he's like, I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take it elsewhere. And then Theo's like, nah, watch, I'm gonna have a whole thing drafted up by tomorrow. Go in, go sleep. I'll have your coffee ready. I'll have everything ready. Check this out. And then Porco wakes up the next morning, and Theo is working on. She's working at an easel at a big workbench, and she's drawing out the whole plans for the plane. And Porco kind of just walks in and goes, "Is that the plan for the plane?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've been working on it all night. What do you think?" And he looks at her and goes, "You know what? Just adjust this angle by like 2 degrees. Everything else looks fine. Sure, you got the job."
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, she has such great dedication.
Yeah.
She went and found the old schematics for
Yep.
the original plane.
That was another thing too. That was really hard to find.
Yeah, because there was only one plane, which was Porco's plane that he found that was underneath a tarp. And they said it was too dangerous to fly because of the angles of the wings.
The
if I remember.
radical angles it had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Porco is the only one batshit crazy enough to fly that thing.
Yeah, it's like kind of considered like the Air Pirates jalopy. Like it's considered
Yeah.
like, why are you flying this? But he's just so good that he almost is self-handicapping.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. That's the thing. The plane was capable of so much. It's just that no pilot wanted to take the time, or no pilot had the skill to do it, to bring out its actual ability.
They didn't want to risk it because
Yeah,
they
that's
said
another
that if you couldn't take it off, then you would most likely crash.
Yeah.
So if you get it off the water, it floats like a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this movie.
And Porco took a chance, and he got his fucking plane.
Right.
That's red.
Beautiful red.
So,
That pretty red plane.
Porco accepts Theo as a competent engineer. Once Porco's plane is finished, Theo unexpectedly joins him on his flight home with the justification that if the secret police arrest the team, they can say that Porco forced them to help and took Theo as a hostage. So I think that there's something we have to talk about here in the creation of the seaplane, which is the fact that obviously Porco and Piccolo are both very like ladies shouldn't be working on seaplanes.
Yeah, again,
Well, not
the 30s.
really Piccolo. He was more understanding, but Porco Rosso, in my opinion, was
Piccolo
like...
was definitely, Piccolo was better.
But you know, I agree with you. But he calls in all of like his female relatives
Because that's all that's left.
to help make the plane, and like Porco Rosso like knows a lot of them. Like he talks to like the old grandmothers. He's like, "Are you ladies still alive? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that was funny.
You know, like he's
They
in.
need that polka money.
He's in. Yeah, they need the poker money. And he's all in, but they sit down to dinner and they start doing grace. And Piccolo's like, "Oh, you know, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for that. And forgive us for making a seaplane with the hands of women. Amen." Yeah. It's like one of my favorite parts of the movie. I just think it's so like...
Wait, is that what they said? I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah,
the sweet
yeah, he said that
place.
right at the end.
It's
He
like,
snuck it in
and
there.
please forgive us for making a seaplane with the hands of women. Amen.
I also think it was like a different approach, because I think Piccolo was way more respectful of women, and he's just like, just forgive us for using their talents for something as dumb shit as this.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Stopping off to refuel on the way, Porco discovers that the new fascist government have no idea who could be in charge of that
I
one.
wonder about that.
Fascism in Italy?
No, really?
After World War I?
I think we should do a podcast about that.
Oh, I mean, stopping off to refuel, he discovers the new fascist government is beginning to hire seaplane pirates for their own use, and thus putting him out of business.
Yeah, so basically they're kind of like assimilating all the seaplane pirates. It's kind of like what the British used to do with their pirates. Just be like,
Privateering, yeah.
yeah, why the fuck are we arresting these people? They're very skilled. Why don't we just hire them? You know, like that. They're fine, sure. They're doing the same thing with the seaplane pirates. So the seaplane pirates are kind of going legit, and bounty hunting is off the table.
Yeah. I just can't believe that fascism even extends to bounty hunting.
Yeah, could you imagine?
They're like, we need government interference in even this. Back at the Hotel Adriano, Curtis proposes to Gina, but
Again.
Wait, what did you say? Again?
Yeah, because the first time he met her, you see him on his knee, and she tells Porco, like, listen, you can't believe that American guy. He just proposed to me. And she turned him down. So this is the second time.
Oh, you don't hear it.
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
Literally the first 10 words that Curtis says to Gina, 3 of them are, will you marry me? 4
Really?
of them,
Yeah.
sorry.
Interesting.
So why the other pirates get angry and start getting, like, all... Ugh.
Literally, he sees her and then proposes to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, like, marriage back then was just, like, asking somebody out, you know? Like, that was it.
Or seeing their bloomers.
Or seeing their
Or
bloomers.
seeing their bloomers, yeah.
Curtis proposes to Gina, and she turns him down for the second time, saying that she is waiting for Porco Rosso. Number two rejection over a pig.
Yeah.
But she doesn't explicitly say Porco Rosso. She's just saying, I'm just waiting for someone
And
to
then
meet
she, like,
me.
looks longingly at the sky.
And guess who she sees?
Thinks about the bacon she had that morning.
You think she feels guilty every time she serves bacon?
A little ham steak.
A little bit?
Red
We're gonna have a
ham.
chef's salad today. Sorry, Marco.
I'm the chef, there's no ham in it.
Upon returning home, Porco and Fio are ambushed by pirates who threaten to kill Porco and destroy his plane. We need to talk about Porco's hideout. Yeah, go on.
Wait, can I say something?
Yes.
They are like clowns. These pirates are like clowns
I love them.
because they on the hideout that Porco Rosso has is a tent, right? Just a simple small tent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, you're right.
all of a sudden when they land, just all the pirates come out of this one still tent, and I'm like, where were they all hiding? Did
How
they
were they all hiding?
Yeah, and it's just like they come out in like one big explosion of men. And
I have a hypothesis.
It's my new band name, an explosion of men.
oh my gosh, they made a little hole probably.
I was gonna say!
I already said it first.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think they just dug a hole. But wait, no, there was no hole when they got out.
Upon returning home,
You didn't see that.
True.
Porco and Fio are ambushed by the pirates who threaten to kill Porco and destroy his plane. Fio talks them out of doing so, but then Curtis appears and challenges Porco to a final
Okay,
duel.
we have to talk about how
Yeah.
he appears.
Yeah.
This
Is this the scene I think it is?
this fucko, this absolute dipstick of a human being, just the worst. First of all, Porco has his own little alcove, and it's really cute. It's like this little piece of the sea. You know, it's like a tiny little private beach. And it's encapsulated, it's enclosed by rocks on all sides. There's only one way in, there's only one way out. Until this scene. So presumably the pirates kind of just came in and hid and ambushed Porco Rosso. Curtis, on the other hand, decides he's going to take a different approach. Decidedly the most American thing I've ever seen. And drop in from the top and scale his way down the rocks in between this, like, imagine like a rock wall split, like a cracked rock wall, like
Sure.
a giant crack down the middle. He's fucking Mission Impossibling down the crack.
King.
Like, he's like, oh!
He is. He's kind of using the pressure of his hands and feet to kind of climb her down.
Did
What
you
a
remember
fucking
the
nightmare.
landing?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he did the superhero landing. He did the
No.
flip.
He did the flip and then he did the like
Yeah, he
T
did the
pose
thing.
with his
He
feet
stuck
down.
the landing.
He stuck the landing.
He stumbled a bit, but he caught himself before he fell.
I love it.
Yeah.
But can we also talk about how Firo told Theo, sorry.
You're a Firo, from what I understand.
Yes. Theo said to the pirates not to destroy the plane. I thought that was pretty impressive because she was able to convince them that they were seaplane pilots, not pirates, and saying that they have honor and that they were blessed by the land, what was it, the sea,
The goddess of the sea. Yeah.
and pure of heart by the air.
Yeah.
And they were like very moved. And she said, Porco just came back to have a rematch with Curtis. And they were like, well, this is very honorable, but we kind of ran out with the contract, expired. And then Curtis came and he's just like, I'm willing to take it just to go one-on-one with the pig for truths this time.
Yeah, it was a really cool scene. I actually, you know what we kind of glossed over? How Theo started traveling with Porco Rosso. One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a Ghibli movie is she's just like rigging up her seat and Porco's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? What are you doing? And she's just like, I'm going with you. I'm rigging up my seat. He's like, you're what now? She's like, I'm coming with you. And he's like, no, the fuck you are not coming with me. And she's like, I'm going to make adjustments to the plane the whole time. And he's like, Theo, I'm going to be getting shot at. Like, this is not a trip for you. And she's like, it's okay. I can just duck down. I have a little window here. He's like, that's not the problem. So
He says he's a known womanizer and he lives on.
yeah, he's like,
he
I'm
lives
a
in
known,
a tent.
Yeah, and she's just like, I love camping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Theo.
Darling, darling,
Sweet
please.
summer child, Theo, please. And then she convinces him to let her go, and it was really cool. And then you get that scene where they're released from Piccolo's shop, and they're pretending like Porco kidnapped Theo,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool because guess who's watching them? None other than the Italian secret police.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Squadron Viti, bro.
Absolutely.
Oh, baby. Obviously, Curtis appears and challenges Porco to a final duel. Theo makes a deal with him, declaring that if Porco wins, Curtis must pay off the debts from Marco's plane owed to Piccolo's company. And if Curtis wins, that Theo must marry him.
Yeah, I'm sensing a recurring theme about Curtis's love interest.
Weird. She is a 17-year-old boy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like he even asks.
I
you
get
know?
it. I get like wanting. Everybody kind of wants to marry Gina. That's kind of the whole idea.
Jane.
Oh my gosh.
I think we have the episode description.
Porco Gina. Jesus. Yeah, everybody kind of wants to marry Gina. All the air pirates are into Gina. Porco's into
Yeah.
Gina. You're kind of supposed to be into like the mysterious,
Gina.
lovely owner of the Hotel Adriano, right? But it's. I guess Curtis is fine with just having
Anything.
a wife. Like
Anything.
Well, he even says like to her, like, don't worry, we'll go get married. And my mama always said, you don't need to be in love to be married.
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about that.
That's the fucked up part. So Curtis is kind of like taking a wife as a trophy, pretty much.
God.
Like, that's
Hate
what
him.
it is, yeah.
Hate the man.
So, caricature of an American.
Yep. That night, while preparing shells for the dogfight the next day, Theo cannot sleep and asks Porco to tell her a story from World War I. Porco obliges and tells her the story that 2 days after Gina's first wedding to his friend, who is very, very interestingly named Bellini. Okay. to his friend Bellini, his squadron was attacked by Austro-Hungarian aircraft. Remember when those guys were a thing?
Yep.
Interesting. Not anymore. World War I is over. That is Austria and Hungary, my friend. They are different countries now. Overwhelmed and unable to save his fellow pilots, he entered a cloud to evade his pursuers. He recalls blacking out and awakening to find himself in complete stillness above the clouds, with a silver band shimmering high in the distant sky. Both Allied and enemy aircraft flown by the airmen who died in the dogfight, Bellini included, rise out of the clouds and fly upwards towards the band. Marco calls out to his friend, but his friend seems to be ignoring him. Marco then sees that the band is in fact thousands of planes flying together. He blacks out and awakens flying low over the sea alone, and apparently as a pig. That's apparently when it happens. As she falls asleep, Fio and the viewer briefly see Marco's true face.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
But can we say...
Let's talk about this whole scene, please.
Yeah. Because it was beautifully done, because the details you could see on the plane of each...
So pretty.
Because, like, again, it's enemy, allied, it's you could see the different details of them and all together in this one elegant form that looks like birds.
And you know what was really cool? It wasn't just Austro-Hungarian and Italian planes. It was planes from all over the world, all different times. You know, I mean, there weren't many before this time, but like, you know, you can tell that some were very noticeably older than these ones. And they're just from everywhere. Like, this is the very specific plane graveyard.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's kind of like a pilot's grave.
Yeah,
almost.
Exactly.
To have like a sky burial in the sky. That's pretty dope. I love that.
When he finishes the story, she said, "Wait a minute, what if I kiss you?" Right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like in the storybook, like with the princess and the frog." She was making like a reference to, and she ends up kissing his cheek, and she was just
She's like, "I think you're a great person," and then she gives him a kiss, and then she falls asleep.
Yeah, I think it was kind of helping with him, because he felt so guilty about surviving.
Yeah.
So being told, I guess, by someone so innocent as her.
Not only that, but like an outsider's perspective too.
Yeah.
You know, like someone who had no idea what the fuck happened. You know, and just hearing it from that perspective. And not only that, but he told it in such a way that he just put himself completely down. And you're right. You're totally right.
So, the next day, the duel is arranged and a large crowd gathers to observe. The indecisive and long dogfight between Porco and Curtis soon devolves. So yeah, they all roll up to Porco's island. No, a different island.
It's hosted by one of the seaplane pirates, like one of their islands.
Brad Garrett.
The Mama Ayudo gang.
It is the Mama Ayudo gang.
No. It's the other guy. It's the guy with the eye patch.
Oh yeah, the Dr. Eggman looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what he am.
So.
Yep.
But they're all making like bets, and they're doing. One of them is even have a ref shirt.
Oh, wait a minute. We totally glossed over one of the coolest parts of this movie.
Is the movie theater?
Yeah.
Save it for the end.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Yep.
The next day, a duel is arranged. A long crowd gathers to observe. The indecisive and long dogfight between Porco and Curtis soon devolves into a bare-knuckle boxing match in which, after both planes' machine guns jam. As they fight, Porco accuses Curtis of being a womanizer, and Curtis responds that Porco is worse. Fio adores him, and Gina is only interested in him. This comes as a shock to Porco that Curtis is able. This comes as such a shock to Porco that Curtis is able to knock him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, Curtis is like, "No, she's in love with you, you moron, you fucking idiot, you goddamn pig. I'm sick and tired of this treatment." And he's like, "What, Gina, me?" And then just gets haymakered by
Absolutely.
Curtis.
With his face all bright red. And that
Yeah.
is the red ham.
Right, that's the red ham. That's the Porco Rosso right there.
But you glossed over one thing. When they were doing the dogfight, still in the air, who was your favorite pirate? What is his name?
Brad Garrett, I'm calling him.
Yeah, sure. Brad. Brad. There's saying, why isn't Porco shooting at Curtis because he has a clear shot? Brad says, oh, that's because Porco has more honor. He refuses to shoot at Curtis. He's trying to aim for the engine to bring down the plane so that way he doesn't kill him. So
Kind of him.
Yeah.
but like, here's the thing. He said, oh no, my gun is jammed. He was actually aiming.
I forgot about that.
Cute.
And then Curtis
funny.
said, oh wait, my gun is jammed. He's like, no, your gun isn't jammed. You just ran out of bullets.
Yeah.
And then they just start throwing things like wrenches
That's great.
in
They
the
like
air.
start shooting up pistols at each other.
This is
Yeah.
supposed to be the climax of the film, and
And
it's
then
so
they-
silly.
And then they go down, and then they have the boxing match where the guy is wearing the ref shirt, and they actually have like the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the bell was a pot and a fucking grenade.
Gotta love
No,
it.
I thought it was
The
a
grenade
ladle.
was the gong.
I thought it was the ladle.
No, it was a straight up grenade.
You know those like
No, they
handle
threw
grenades?
a grenade into the
yeah,
crowd.
but he had another one and he used it as a thingy.
Oh yeah,
he
they
used it as
threw an
the-
active grenade into the crowd because
Yes.
they wouldn't shut up.
Yep, that's right. Gotta love pirates.
Yep.
This comes as such a shock to Porco that Curtis is able to knock him down, only for Porco to be saved by a pirate referee signaling the end of a round. The fight ends with both combatants knocking each other out and falling underneath the shallow water. Gina finally arrives and calls out Porco.
It's time to get up.
No, come on.
Marco.
No, come on, Zach.
Porco.
No, come on. Please, no.
Dude, I don't know what you want me to say.
That's
It literally
so
says
good.
Marco hyphen in parentheses Porco right next to it. What do you want me to do?
Go on.
Go on.
The great Sandman in parentheses, go on.
Porco as a pig. Calls out to Marco or Porco, who rises first and is thus declared the winner. Hooray! She warns the crowd that the Italian Air Force has been alerted and are on their way and invites everyone to regroup at her hotel. To Gina's frustration, Porco hands Fio over to Gina, requesting that she look after her, and turns away without really doing much as to their whole romance plotline.
Yep.
So she's like, you're a jerk. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Just before Gina's plane takes off, Fio leans out and gives Porco a kiss. Very big deal. As the crowd leaves, Porco volunteers to lead the Air Force away and invites Curtis to join him. Who they're just boys now for no reason. Like, they're just like, hey,
Yeah,
y'all.
because I think they just reached an understanding.
I guess if you beat the ever-living snot out of somebody else, you're like probably fine with
That's
them.
how you became friends in the 30s. Like, that was...
Just getting out.
Can we mention about Gina?
Gina.
She has the secret. What is it?
Garden?
No. Like, what is the tap machine before the Morse code?
I was gonna say the Morse code maker. The telegraph.
Telegraph.
Yeah, that she gets a message from one of Porco's friends from the Italian military saying
Yeah.
they know about dogfight. Get
Yeah.
everyone out there, and it was behind the bookshelf.
Yeah. I feel like we can talk about
Yeah,
who's
that
giving him
character-
this message
that
now.
character I wanna talk about.
To talk about that scene that you wanted to talk about.
You
your
laughed at Bellini.
your favorite line, yeah.
You laughed at Bellini. Let's talk about Ferrari.
Oh no, I forgot his name is
Yeah.
Ferrari. Oh no,
so-
God.
Yeah. So Ferrari is one of Porco's military buddies who survived the war, and that's the reason he was able to get out of Milan with his plane. Because let's not forget that he fucking flew it through the canal in front of God and everybody. So like, you know.
Sure.
That very same plane that's on the pictures of him, by the way. So, you know, you'd think the Air Force would be a little bit aware.
Nah, it's painted in such a subtle color.
Yeah, just such a subtle color, you know.
But also, they have it in the movie theater.
Yes.
Do you notice the movie that's playing?
Yep. It's in an old like black and white sound no sound cartoon.
Like a rubber hose cartoon.
Yeah, like a rubber hose cartoon. And it's a warplane movie. And guess who's the antagonist?
A pig.
A demon-looking pig flying a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's suggested that the color is red because of the way the black and white looks. But, like, it's really interesting. And Porco's eating his popcorn while he's watching the movie. And he goes, this movie's so stupid. And I'm just like, that's so good. I love that. I love that.
funny.
It's so good. And then Ferrari sits down next to him, voiced by Tom Kenny, by the way. So he sits down and he's like, Marco, what the fuck are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Isn't it great to have friends that want to see you?
Yeah, it's just like, you're gonna get killed, right? And he's just like, listen, I have pull now. Come back to the Italian Air Force. Come back to the Air Force. We would love to have, we would need you, Marco. That would be amazing. And he's just like, they love my pretty red plane. They just don't love me flying it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that's such a good line.
What a win for fascism it would be to get Porco Rosso.
Oh yeah,
but-
and it gets to that line, one of my favorite quotes of any Ghibli movie ever, and he goes, it's like, Marco, come with us, come fly with us, and he's like, no thanks, Ferrari, I'd rather be a pig than a fascist.
Let's fucking
And
go.
I'm like, yes, please. And then Ferrari's just like, all right, whatever, and then he just leaves, and on his way out, you see an Italian Air Force plane like giving him semaphore signals, which is the light signals, and it turns out Ferrari followed him out of Milan and is going to lead him through. He's leading him under the
Radar.
yeah, he's leaving under the blockade that the Air Force actually has set up for him. So he's like, you just fly low and they won't see you. So just that's how you're gonna get out.
Love it.
And they have these little hand signals that they had going on, and then right as Ferrari is about to fly away, he sees he does some really fun hand signals, and then Porco's like, ha, very funny, as he's flying away. And then Fio goes, what'd he say? He goes, cute kid, when'd you start babysitting?
What a dick. I love him.
Oh man, I love it. I love Ferrari, man.
Yeah.
So fun.
And Ferrari's really the only reason Gina was able to know that the Air Force was on the way.
So
So
Ferrari, shout out to homie Ferrari.
yeah, way to be better at being a fascist by undermining it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just before Gina's plane takes off, Fio leans in and gives Porco a kiss because I think that's the inciting incident for this next part.
On the lips.
Yes. As the crowd leaves, Porco volunteers to lead the Air Force away and invites Curtis to join him. Curtis reacts with surprise and asks Porco to turn around, suggesting, like Fio, that he had briefly seen Marco's true face.
Yep.
Fio narrates that in the end, Porco outflies the Italian Air Force and is never hunted by them again. I guess Mussolini has other things to worry about.
Not only that, but like if you get fucked enough times by one dude who really isn't causing a lot of trouble when you boil it down, I think that they'd just be like, okay, I think we can just let this guy go.
Just sheer humiliation. There.
Yeah, I feel like, because what is Porco doing actually? What is he actually doing?
Don't know.
He's just eating at the hotel. What is he really doing?
Fio herself becomes president of the Piccolo Company, which now becomes an aircraft manufacturer. Going to be very helpful in an upcoming world event, I would imagine.
Yep.
Probably making some bank there.
Actually, what's cool is that suggests that the event had already happened, because the plane that we see in the end is an unmanned drone plane. So, isn't that cool? Yeah.
What?
We see an unmanned drone flown by this is supposed to be the late 80s.
What?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's set in 1929.
No, the company is it survives.
What?
What do you mean?
There's no time skip.
Oh my goodness.
There is zero time skip involved.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
Curtis becomes a famous.
Wherever my phone is.
Curtis becomes a
Can I use
famous
my phone?
actor.
Oh, it's here.
Curtis becomes a famous actor, and
Screenplay writer.
yes, and the pirates continue to attend the Hotel Adriano in their old age. I guess. Okay, so yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was an unarmed drone.
Either way, I wouldn't suggest it was the 1980s. I think that would be a little bit much of a time skip. That's almost
Oh, wait, no.
Literally almost 50 years.
No, we can split the fault down the middle. I was remembering the way it looked wrong. It was definitely a very, very futuristic plane, very small plane, but definitely not unmanned.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, what?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Theo, however, does not divulge whether Gina's hope about Porco Rosso and him coming to visit her in her secret garden in order to tell her that he loves her was ever realized. However, as the movie ends, a red plane can be seen docked by Gina's garden as the jet flies over the hotel.
Yes, there is.
After the credits, a familiar red seaplane appears soaring in the sky before disappearing into the clouds. End of film.
Yes.
Such a good movie. So good. Underrated Ghibli. Most people would probably put it C, B tier. It's at least an A tier film.
Yeah, I'd say A tier at the very least.
Indeed.
You know, it was beautifully done. Yeah, there's a few plot holes in it, but like, there's
It
supposed
adds
to
to
be
mystery.
Yeah, there's supposed to be.
Not as many in some other Ghibli movies.
Yeah, but whatever.
Looking at you, Nausicaa.
Listen, you know what? They can't all be gems.
Nope.
So, like, I thought it was such a beautiful movie, and I remember you and I discovered it like on the Ghibli Mega collection that you have, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck is Porco Rosso?
Really?
So we watched it, and I was like smitten immediately. I was just like, I couldn't tear my eyes away from the screen at any point. I was just like, this is a fucking masterpiece. Why do I not know about this?
Yeah.
So like, anytime I watch a Ghibli movie, it's that, you know, I could go to that movie any single time and watch that again and again. It's so beautiful. And the animation is so pretty. The story is so fun, and it's just interesting to see the way that World War I was kind of told across the seas.
Right. I think that if you're a Ghibli fan, I think if you love your Howl's Moving Castles and your Spirited Aways and your, you know, all of them, I feel like you owe it to yourself to watch Porco Rosso if you haven't.
Yeah, it's definitely not as fantastical as all those other movies, but like, it's very, if you love history and you love Studio Ghibli, you're going to fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
And I think we have to talk about the star-studded voice cast of the English
let's do that.
direction. Yeah, Michael Keaton obviously voicing Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
We have Carrie Ells of The Princess Bride, one of my favorite films, Robin of Locksley.
Yep.
As Curtis. Great villain voice.
Yeah.
He does a great villain voice. And the most surprising to me every single time I turn this on and every time we watch it together is the voice of... Come on, let's go.
Brad Garrett?
No. What character's name have we been saying
Ferrari?
over and over this
Ferrari?
podcast? No. We maybe mentioned Ferrari 5 times. What name has been a running gag throughout this whole fucking...
Gene.
Thank you.
I wanted to give it to you.
Did you just say Ferrari too many times?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so Gina's voice is Susan Egan, who is
Yeah.
Meg from Hercules, one of my favorite Disney films.
Crazy.
And every time I watch this film, I'm just expecting her to burst out into "Can't Say I'm in Love" at any point.
She is in love with a pig.
With a pig.
With a pig, yeah.
If there was a prize for Rotten Judgment. You know, I think that it's a great one, and I think that you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, give it a shot, you know? It's like an hour and a half. It's standard Ghibli length.
Not long at all.
It's a beautiful movie, and it's just a fun time, you know? Take it with a grain of salt, because, again, it was set in the 30s.
Pork.
And it was,
Red ham.
Red ham. Take it with a grain of salt, because it's pork. It'll go bad.
Never mind. Thank you so much for listening.
Nicole, any
everyone.
closing thoughts?
Oh my god. This I was gonna say musical. This movie.
I would have shit my pants if Porco Rosso just burst out into song in the middle of the show.
No, but like, there's not enough love for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, even if you see in the merch that they usually have for like Studio Ghibli films, there's not a lot of stuff for this movie, and I feel like it's doing such a disjustice because it is beautiful, it's breathtaking, it's magical, but still not a lot of people know about it.
Right. You mean, when you brought that shirt home, I was fucking flabbergasted.
Yeah, that was hard to
exists.
find.
I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, what? So I feel like I own the only piece of Porco Rosso merch that was commercially available, you know?
Yeah, no, I love this. It's one of my top favorites of the movie. Last is My Neighbors the Yamadas.
I think that's on everybody's D-list. Miyazaki.
Yeah, no, go watch it. Do sit down. Well, first get popcorn, then sit down.
Yeah.
Then watch this with like your good friends, and then soon you're gonna be wanting to fly red planes.
Agreed.
Absolutely. I would love it. I would. It would just. It's literally. You know what it is? It's just Star Fox if it was a pig instead of a fox. And
Also,
I think,
the
oh
music.
shit, that's why I like it. Oh no.
Also, the music.
Oh, the music is gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't know you knew this, Colton. I'm just figuring this out myself. I'm just finding this out. In 2011, Miyazaki stated that he wanted to make a follow-up anime to the 1992 original film if the next few films following his newest project at the time, Ponyo, were successful. The anime's working title was Porco Rosso: The Last Sortie, and was said to have been set during the Spanish Civil War, with Porco
on.
appearing as a veteran pilot.
Oh, come on.
The studio has indicated that the sequel is not still in their current plans.
Oh, no. Oh,
I mean, how
God.
would that look? Like,
Awesome.
but do you think, because it's hinted that the curse is somewhat broken, do you think he would have appeared, like, maybe at some points, like, going half and half, like, half human, or, like, I
Just
mean,
looking slightly more pigly than usual.
no, like, I mean, having sometimes, like, say if he's feeling better about himself, he looks more human to others, but when he's, like, feeling down and, like, talking bad about himself,
Like he could turn it on and off pretty much?
like, yeah, but he doesn't kind of realize it.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
I'm seeing that. It seems to kind of be like a blink and you miss it kind of deal where they're like, there's like moments where you're like, okay, this can be. And, you know, I don't know. I would love that, obviously. But it seems like what you're saying is like more human or less human as opposed to, you know, his feelings. But it seems to me that it's on either an all or nothing kind of type deal. Because he's
Yeah, looks
either
like it.
all pig or he's just like, oh my God, he's a human for these 3 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
so I would love if he could turn it on and off and go fully in both directions. I think that would be insane.
Well, maybe not like full pig, because when I think of full pig, I feel Spirited Away when
Yeah.
the parents turn to pigs. I'm just like, no, that is full pig.
That
is
is full
round. That is rotund full
Gotcha.
pig.
Gotcha. I completely understand what you mean. Yeah.
I love it.
Hopefully we can revitalize the Porco Rosso sequel with this podcast.
Yeah, please.
Yay.
But I just, what is it with like all of my, this is such a weird niche.
Say it.
Like, what is it with all my favorite plane shows getting, so listen.
Just stop
night, everybody.
watching
You know
plane
what?
shows.
Good
We had a Porco Rosso show canceled and a Star Fox show canceled. Get the fuck out of here.
Just stop watching things. That's
Just
it.
give me something.
It's definitely not Fly.
Boo. Boo this man.
Good night, everybody.